So today I wanted to revisit the top transfer list. The other day we talked about how Henry To'oTo'o was ranked as the number one transfer thus far this year. The former freshman All-American linebacker from Tennessee transferring to the Alabama Crimson Tide, making that already deadly defense for Alabama even scarier this season. But I also wanted to talk about the guy that they ranked number 2 because this is also an individual who I've been bullish on for quite some time. When they entered their name into the portal, I was saying that they were going to make an impact, and that is Eric Gray. So before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from y'all, and this is a question I've asked before, but now that we've gone through spring, we've heard the reviews, and we've got to see Eric Gray in the spring game, albeit just for a small sample. Are you excited for Eric Gray and what he's going to bring to the Sooners? Let me know. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification because I do constant college football content and you don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoy that content, comment down below. Those interactions are huge for content creators such as myself. But with all that being said and out the way, let's talk about Eric Gray because as an SEC fan, and I'm a college football fan in general, y'all know this, I love college football above all other sports. I love football in general, but college football to me is incredible. My bias just happens to lie in the SEC, so those are primarily the games I'm watching first and foremost on Saturdays. But being such a big SEC fan and really watching Tennessee, there were certain players on Tennessee I just couldn't help but feel bad for. And, I hope Tennessee is able to rebound in a meaningful capacity. And it really does suck that they lost all of this talent because you never want to see an institution go through this because this is chaotic for the kids that are going through this, for the institution. It's just not a good time for anybody. However, I am happy that some of these players, such as Eric Gray, To'oTo'o, Wanya Morris, Key Lawrence, are finding themselves in situations that are going to lend themselves to success, right? There's at least a happy ending for some of these players in this situation. But when I used to watch Tennessee, I'd feel bad for a guy like Eric Gray because I never felt like Tennessee was putting their players in the best possible positions to succeed. It made complete sense to me when it came out that everything on the off-the-field side of Tennessee was chaotic because that's what the product looked like on Saturday. It looked like chaos. And so, it's good that they got out of those situations. Henry To'oTo'o, I think, absolutely deserves to be ranked as the number 1 on this list, and I absolutely agree that Eric Gray should be the number 2. And it's been no secret. Y'all know, when Eric Gray first entered the transfer portal, there were rumblings instantly. OU's interested, Texas is interested, and that's just the first 2 names I'm thinking. The entire nation was interested when Eric Gray entered his name into the portal because they've seen what I've seen, a very capable running back with a ton of versatility. And so when his name was entered into the portal, I was making a video saying that the Texas Longhorns should absolutely go out and do whatever they can to secure Eric Gray. First and foremost, because there's rumors that OU is interested. You don't want Lincoln Riley getting him, especially with the loaded receiving core they have with Spencer Rattler, and then you have Bill Bedenbaugh, so you have questions on the offensive line. But, there are a few institutions in the nation who we give the benefit of the doubt in that regard. Alabama, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, there are others. You get the drift because of the coach and the caliber of coach and the history they have had. So you don't want Eric Gray going to Oklahoma. So I made a video saying, look, if you're a Texas fan, do whatever you can. If you're Steve Sarkisian, to go get this kid. Wherever he goes, he's going to be an impact player. Lo and behold, Texas wasn't able to get him, and he ended up at Oklahoma, which, me not being a Texas or Oklahoma fan primarily and just loving college football so much, I'm very excited for because I don't know that you could have put a better place for Eric Gray to go, for him to be featured, for him to be utilized, and for him to increase his draft stock to be able to match how talented he is because Lincoln Riley and the Oklahoma Sooners are going to figure out a way to make Eric Gray featured. Just look at the few reps he got in the spring game and how they were trying to utilize him, and that is just a taste of what you will be getting. He's going to be utilized in every facet of the game, and it's interesting because the second it was announced that he was going to OU, I was making videos saying, this guy's going to be featured. This guy's going to be a big part of this offense. He is that talented. And, understandably so, there's some hesitancy because OU has talented running backs on roster coming back. Looks to be a very good group. So when you hear a guy that's transferring, there's some hesitancy about what he is going to be able to do. But then you hear the reviews behind the scenes, and you hear DeMarco Murray coming forward and saying, we're looking for versatility in the running back room. And he repeats that for a few weeks. We're looking for versatility. We're looking for versatility. We want to be a versatile group. And there's a reason he's saying that. Because if you're a versatile back, you can make a defense pay in other ways that you just can't do. This is going to be a guy who I think is going to take the Big 12 by storm and is going to have fantastic production when it's all said and done. And the thing I'm going to be most interested in with Eric Gray when it's all said and done might not even be the stats, right? And when I mean the stats, I mean the yards, because I think he's going to accrue a ton of positive stats. The thing I'm going to be looking at are some of the niche stats, like receiving yards, yards per attempt, how many guys was he able to make miss, those sort of things right there, because I think when you pair what he's able to do in his versatility with Lincoln Riley's mindset and that same ability to fluidly switch between formations, and you have so many options at Oklahoma where you can do some very, very, very interesting formation shifts with Eric Gray and really make a defense pay. You have the mind to do it in Lincoln Riley. You have the talent to do it at every position and every level of this offense. The offensive line needs to prove some stuff. Very talented people on it. You get transfers that have adequate experience elsewhere. They're bringing in their knowledge from elsewhere, then getting coached up by Biedenbow. That's going to be the best of both worlds. There's a reason why Oklahoma has so many people that are hyping them up. And absolutely, we all understand the results still have to be shown. But when you get a guy like Eric Gray, who's then ranked as the number 2 transfer, and you look at what it is he offers, you look at what the Sooners do, and then you mend that together, it's very hard not to argue with the hype they're getting, because the defense is going to be improving still under Grinch because they have to for some of the recruits they're after, and they know this. But this offense is still incredibly deadly, and Eric Gray is going to take them to another level. Let me know what you're thinking about Eric Gray. I can't wait to hear what y'all are thinking. I think it's absolutely deserving that he was number 2 on this list. Let me know what y'all think about the list in its entirety, because it is really, really interesting. That's it. See ya.